Hey, Ace Chapman here. Wanted to make a video. As most of you guys know, I buy and sell businesses. And so, as a business flipper, you kind of look for ways to improve businesses. And one of the things that I found is in every single case, the thing that's the most easy to improve is the web strategy. Most small businesses just have absolutely no internet marketing strategy, and some which I'm working on a deal right now on as a business broker to sell a business that doesn't even have a website. And it's actually a very successful business, been around for 20 years. But the bottom line is, no matter how successful you are, he could probably be doing more business if he had a website and even a social media strategy, um, and especially one that was results driven. Most modern companies I found, at least they do know that having an online presence is mandatory. And when doing these business these days, it is. And so most companies will have a website and maybe even a Google Places listing. But as new media and the different channels that people are going to now evolve, it's completely changing even from that. And in addition to changing the way we do business, just changing our lives in general. The more successful companies out there I've found are realizing that just having a web presence isn't enough. And I found that, looking at the trends, procrastinating on having a web presence and creating an internet marketing strategy that really does impact your business, not just having a website out there among the trillions of websites. Actually, Google recently reached a trillion websites that they kind of have in their network that can be searched. But not having a real internet strategy can be business suicide long term, looking at what's happening. Um, but I want to kind of talk about the main reason that a lot of businesses are being hurt with this whole thing. And it's because they're still spending money with old media and having to spend more and more money because they're getting less and less results. I remember 10 years ago, the business that I owned then, I spent a lot of money in billboards, TV, and just the results that you get now, even with great marketing in those mediums, just is nowhere near what it was 10 years ago. And I hear other people that have been in business for longer, 20 years, 30 years ago, it was even more different and better than it was 10 years ago. But TV, newspaper, radio, those things, they're dying a slow death. And again, that's not my opinion. That's just the trends and statistics of what's happening. If the trends continue, TV, radio, newspaper will eventually die. But at one point, just like social media and YouTube and what we have today is new, those medias were new. So newspaper at one point, somebody picked up the newspaper, they saw their local shoe store and the newspaper like, wow, like these guys are really on the cutting edge. They're advertising in this new thing, and that was exciting. Same thing with radio. Someone hears their hairdresser on the radio or hears about a new hairdresser on the radio and they may have never been there, and they're thinking, wow, I really want to check those folks out. So that's kind of what happens, and eventually each media gets old. And so now when you look at doing a YouTube video and having that show up on your customers or potential customers Facebook page, that gets exciting. And so they're gonna come and check you out. They're just a lot more likely to check you out. So if you're still not embracing what a stellar online presence and a really strong marketing strategy online can do for you, I'm willing to bet that you're one of those folks that's spending money or still counting on old media, if you're doing anything at all. And what happens is, what you spend in old media is a three-level loss, or it's expensive in three ways. One, it's literally expensive. Advertising on TV, radio, if you want to have any kind of real impact, takes a lot of money and takes doing it on a consistent basis. What's worse is it's a very minimal return. So you're spending a lot of money and you're getting a very low return. But the third thing is you have a missed opportunity. I mean, for what you spend on average in a radio ad, you could spend basically kind of getting your website on the front page of Google, which is a more evergreen thing and long term affects your business. Whereas that radio ad may send in a few customers, and the next month you got to spend all that money all over again to keep getting those results. But enough about that. Let's talk about the actual statistics. Um, the biggest one, which was a shock to me even, is that a whopping 97% of all consumers, when they are going on the internet, they're looking for a restaurant or service that is in their local area. That's just what's happening today. 55% of all local searches are done with the intent to buy something. 8 out of every 10 customers that research something online, they end up either picking up the phone and calling the people that they find, or they drop in and they visit the store. But here's the catch: they're only calling the first two or three results that they see, and they don't go any further. So if you're on the second page, you're not one of those top three folks, you're not getting any. It goes from literally the top will get 80% of the results, but by the time you get below three, it's pointless. And for a very small amount of money, you can find someone that can get you really high up in those results. And I know folks, if you want to connect with them. But if you're not taking full advantage of these trends, you're just missing out big time. And it's really easy. I've kind of gone into most of the business that I buy, and I do my own internet strategy, and kind of have taught some other business owners that I sell to do that. So if you're interested in figuring out some of that stuff, definitely feel free to reach out to me, leave a comment on the videos. Would love to help out, and look forward to connecting with you.